And now, for the thousands in attendance here at the Silverdome in Pontiac, and the millions watching around the world on HBO, two undefeated champions, somebody's has got to go. Let's get ready to rumble! Brundage. And introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing white with red, official weight 140 pounds, a perfect professional record with 21 fights, 21 victories, including 13 KOs. From St. Louis, Missouri, the reigning, defending, undefeated WBC super lightweight champion of the world, Devon Alexander the Great. Fighting out of the red corner, wearing blue, officially weighing 139 1/2 pounds. Also, a perfect professional record consisting of 26 fights, 26 victories, including 11 knockouts. From North Palm Springs, California, he's the reigning, defending, undefeated WBO junior lightweight champion of the world, Timothy Desert Storm Bradley.
Let me see your gloves.
Let's go, guys.
Got your mouthpieces?
Yeah, you're in.
Okay,
go, guys.
how you feeling? Okay, good
luck.
luck tonight.
Thank you.
We gotta get the ring cleared out first. You can step them back. We gotta get the ring cleared out first.
Let's go.
I gotta get the ring cleared first.
Let's go, guys. They already did the rules. They already did them.
Already did it. Gotta leave the ring. Gotta leave the ring. Thank you, Mike.
Good man. Good job.
Thank you. Okay, guys, center of the ring. Gentlemen, we went over the rules in the dressing room. We want a good, clean bout. Welcome to Michigan. This is for all the marbles. Touch them up. Come out at the bell. God bless you.
When I asked them whether they'd rather be Pacquiao or Mayweather in the ring, both paid respects to Mayweather's skills. Both said they'd rather be Pacquiao. From their lips to our eyes.
Well, maybe they were thinking of one footnote. Amid the crazy quilt of titles and belts and distinctions which massively and relentlessly confuse boxing fans, the linear champion of this division is Manny Pacquiao. He won it from Ricky Hatton a couple of years ago. It now appears Manny Pacquiao will never fight at 140 pounds again. So if that's the expectation, whoever wins this fight tonight stands alone. It begins with Bradley jabbing and Alexander blocking that jab with his right hand. Body shot with the right hand by Tim Bradley.
Okay, let him go. Watch your feet, guys.
Now, as Bradley comes forward and begins to try to attack Alexander, Emmanuel, one thing to look for, which Alexander's trainer Kevin Cunningham made a big point of before the fight, headbutts. Bradley has a habit of being involved in accidental headbutt incidents.
Yeah, even though they are accidental, and I do believe that, but it's maybe just in part of his style that he ends up butting people, and usually he ends up coming out on the better side of it without getting cut. But the fight here, to get back to that, the fight is going pretty much as I expected. Alexander very fast. Both guys are very intent. I think that Bradley's trying to gradually get to him and start banging him to the body. That's what he's intending to do.
And they almost had a headbutt right
Almost had a
there.
headbutt there.
Yeah,
Watch
before
the
we
head,
leave
guys.
the subject, let me just point out that in 4 previous fights that we can document, Bradley opponents wound up with cuts as the result of accidental butts. And he's never been penalized for it. High intensity first round. One expert yesterday established for me an expectation, Emmanuel. The first 4 rounds will be a boxing match. The middle 4 rounds will be a more intense, fierier, more dangerous boxing match. The last 4 rounds will be a fight.
Well, I think that's going to happen. Both of these guys, even though Alexander's faster with his hands, he's made it very clear he doesn't use his foot speed, so the speed speed. He doesn't. He say, I have fast hands, but I'm not going to be moving around and running from anyone.
Good right hook
So that
by
means
Devon Alexander.
Good fight. And Bradley's closing the gap.
And there's an all-out assault from Bradley. And one thing you saw there is when he thinks he has an advantage, Timothy Bradley will wing punches and let them fly from all angles. And a lot of people think Alexander may find an opportunity to counter up the middle.
Well, as long as he doesn't walk into something, though, by being the aggressor, close rounds, and we could have a lot of them, could go to him.
And he may be thinking exactly that in setting up these assaults. Bradley is a thinking man's fighter.
Bell.
A smile on Bradley's face as he returns to his corner at the end of round 1.
Always stay smart, very focused, just like that. He's just touching your gloves. Okay, you're gonna break them down little by little. Okay, we're gonna keep this pace. Okay, we're gonna keep it right here, coach. We're gonna keep this pace, baby. Okay, just be very, very careful and very smart. Let's try to take away his jab. Okay, little by little, he's just tapping the fucking jab.
All right,
After that, then you start digging the body. But that's the way I want you. I don't want you to be rushing in, okay? Good job, baby.
Your range, you got to get off and slide around him and slide over. All right? As soon as he get off in your range, you got to fire. All right? You want to blow your nose? Yeah. All right? And that stick in the...
That was probably the most exciting exchange probably in the first round. But if you notice very closely here, outside of 2 little cloud of clubbing punches in close, nothing really too much was effective. But it created a lot of excitement because of the fact that no one had been able to make any contact during the first round.
By my lights, it mostly showed how willing Bradley often is to split his hands and let his punches fly. And again, I wonder if Alexander's going to be able to take advantage of that. Round 2 begins with Alexander feinting. Bradley firing with both hands. Another good right hook by Devon Alexander. He's gotten it past Bradley's left a couple times.
Well, Alexander's hand speed and rhythm really catches the attention of the crowd. So he could win rounds without even landing a blow sometimes just because of the beauty that he has when he's moving.
But most of what he's throwing at this point are arm punches.
Yes, he hasn't really landed nothing effective. He just looks good. Bradley very patiently picking his punches, coming in, biding his time, and crowding Devon Alexander. He gets very close before he punches at Alexander.
Alexander got in a couple of body shots in return.
All right, let him go. Step back, no punch.
Bradley's
Step
fighting
back.
a very smart fight. He's not throwing punches from a long distance where Alexander could counter him. He waits till he gets very close before he punches.
Alexander seems at this moment to be focusing on Bradley's body. Something he promised but failed to do against Kotelnik.
He's going backwards behind almost every punch so far.
Okay, watch the head, watch the head.
And what does that tell you, Larry?
That's the kind of fighter he is, generally.
Off of him, no punch.
And
Step back.
given the stakes, if he wants to make a big statement, he's going to have to
Let him go.
step
back,
out
step
of
back. No punch,
that
no punch.
pocket.
Step back, step back.
But he's been very successful with it up until now.
Off his head, No wrestling, no wrestling. Come on, we're going to keep it clean.
First round was nearly even in CompuBox numbers. And because of the way the styles conspire, I'm just going to guess that we'll have several rounds here that will be close and difficult to score. Bradley momentarily off balance. Alexander able to land the combination. Backs up again. Bradley goes forward, hammering him with the right hand.
Step back, step back, step back.
Body shot by Bradley.
Break. Break. Step back, step back. Bell.
If you missed it, catch a replay of Real Sports. It's an all-NFL show, which includes a look at Troy Aikman, the Hall of Fame quarterback now preparing to call next week's Super Bowl. March 12, it's the Running Rebels of UNLV, an HBO Sports documentary about the University of Nevada-Las Vegas basketball team. Their heyday was the late 80s and early 90s, when players and coaches grabbed headlines on and off the court.
Left hand, he running right into the left hand. You stepping back, but you ain't firing. You know what I'm saying? You touch, he step, pow, find the left hand right hook. All right?
It wouldn't be a visit to Detroit without a look at the Motor City Cobra, the hitman, Thomas Hearns. Your most famous pupil ever, Emmanuel Stewart.
And my favorite fighter that I worked with, of all of them.
You had a near father-son relationship.
Yeah, but he was just exciting. I mean, the excitement that he created with me just coming in the ring with him. Just no other fighters ever did that.
And seldom has a fighter been more beloved by a city than Hearns was by the entire city of Detroit, which is saying a lot when you consider this is the city that produced Walker Smith, who later became Sugar Ray Robinson, and Joe Louis Barrow, who later became Joe Louis. CompuBox numbers in the second round, Alexander 11 of 57, Bradley is 7 of 41. But Bradley appears the aggressor, even though Alexander landed more punches. Again, hard to score.
Okay, stop. Step back.
Hard left hook by Bradley. Knocks Alexander back into the ropes.
Step back.
Devon Alexander grabs and holds for a moment. Now backs away.
Braden is putting lots of pressure, and as I said earlier, he's not punching from a long distance. He waits till he gets right in the chest of Devon Alexander before he punches.
He is a pit bull.
Yes, he's cut the distance down.
He fights and fights and fights.
Styles may make fights, but fighters and what they're made of win fights.
Get him up.
Hands up, stay low, baby. Take the back, go race on.
Off his head, fight break.
There was a media poll prior to the fight in which 31 experts picked Bradley to only 15 who picked Alexander. And the vast majority of those who picked Bradley cited his confidence, his mental preparation.
Extremely strong individual. I mean, not dependent on the coach or anyone, just a strong person himself. And right now, he's actually forcing his will right now on Alexander.
Right. I think the difference in the fight at this moment is Bradley's self-belief. He's willing to risk more.
Yes, and he's winning the early rounds, or most of them so far, which was not expected.
Quit wrestling. Come on. Punch out of there, guys. Let him go. High break. Step back. No punching. Off his head. Let him go, Devon. Step back.
And now Alexander has been hit in the eye, and I believe he thinks he's been thumbed, and Frank Garza is going to give him a momentary break here. I'm not sure that Garza even saw what went on.
Well, I don't know, and I don't know why he gets a break.
I'm not sure either.
He was hit by a punch. Why is there a break in the action?
And there's a cut on his right eyelid, and blood is beginning to seep from the cut. And that's a bad place for a cut, Emmanuel.
And it was a punch, not a head.
I have no idea what Garza was doing with that. But I'm told that the replay may show us more.
Break, step back. Don't use that. Don't put your firearm. Bell.
All right, so before we criticize the referee, we'll take a look at a replay and try to figure out exactly what happened to Devon Alexander's arm.
Ref, I told you about the fucking head.
Kevin Cunningham is claiming it was a butt, and he's screaming at Garza about it.
Caused by a blow? Oh, my God. Oh, this motherfucking ref full of shit, man. Don't worry about it. We good. We good. We won't go to work.
Alexander's cut man is Jim Strickland. He's really good, and he's got work in front of him.
We good. We whooping his ass anyway. Don't even worry about the cut.
Here we will see where the cut came from. And it was a result of a headbutt. There it is right there.
All right. I thought it was a thumb. It turns out to be a headbutt, and that's why Kevin Cunningham was so distressed.
And I thought it was the punch right before his head collided, but that looked like it was beneath the eye.
All right, round 4 begins, and as the mysteries begin to unravel related to the blood above Alexander's eye, Harold, how'd you score the first one?
Okay, Jim, 29-28, 2 rounds to 1, Timothy Bradley. Jim, I've come to realize one thing in this fight. Alexander's the boxer, Bradley's the puncher, and that's all there is to it. Devon Alexander, I thought, won round 2 with nice right jabs. Timothy Bradley didn't do a heck of a lot. Rounds 1 and 3, on the other hand, Bradley got inside, landed the harder, cleaner blows without question. I think he's doing damage. I think Devon's just throwing out one right jab and grabbing. Bradley, on the other hand, landed real nice shots. 2-1, Timothy Bradley.
Well, Alexander is daring to be good. Bradley is daring to try to be great.
Bradley is closing the gap.
Okay, my break.
Crowding him, putting a lot of pressure physically and mentally on Alexander that I don't think he's going to hold up with going down the stretch.
But, Emmanuel, you heard Harold Letterman characterize Bradley as, quote, the puncher in the fight. He is not seen as having extraordinary punching power, not even exceptional punching power. It's hard to be the puncher when you don't have big power.
Well, as I said earlier in the meeting with yesterday, but look at the caliber guys he's been fighting. He's been fighting guys that no one will knock out too much. Both of them are fairly decent punchers. I think between the two of them, Bradley's a better puncher than Alexander.
Because he has quicker hands,
yes,
Alexander might conceivably sneak a punch in that Bradley doesn't see, and that would give him the power.
But he doesn't commit to his punches the way Bradley does.
Bradley crowds it, gets right on top of you. When he punches, he
good right hook by
pushes his shoulders forward with the punch where he has much more effect.
Okay, no punch. Step back.
A few days ago, Tommy Hearns showed Tim Bradley how to throw a right hand, Emmanuel, and Bradley was shocked at the amount of body torque that Hearns, now retired, of course, and years removed from the ring, that Hearns put into the right hand. Bradley said, I never dreamed that I should turn my body that much.
Well, the way a lot of the fighters are training now, if you look at this pad work, as we call it, there's never any commitment on the punches. The trainers are meeting the punches halfway, slapping them back, and the fighters are therefore not punching with full power. And that's what when they throw their punches in the ring a lot, often they don't punch with the full power. They just throw it halfway without full commitment.
That's where power comes from, pivoting the body, whether it's a golf swing, whether it's a baseball swing, the ability, the commitment to what you're doing.
Alexander landed a right hook. Bradley bashed him back into the ropes with a straight right hand. That standard physical equation by which a conventional fighter can hit the southpaw right up the middle with the right hand is working for Bradley now.
Yes, it is. And it's not a straight right hand. More clubbing right hand. But he gets right on top of you before he throws it.
This was a little better round, champ. Okay, now you're more a little technical. That's what I want. Okay? You can't just rush in there, opening up, champ. You gotta shoot that straight right to the chest. You're missing it because you're going too high. Okay? Come on, sit it up.
Hey, he's gonna get tired. He's getting a little tired.
Some grease, coach.
Okay, you gotta go to that body, all right?
Okay.
You
have to get to the body, champ. From the beginning, of the round, okay? And you have to keep, you gotta keep moving, side to side, okay? Keep your fucking hands up.
Okay? Set the jab up.
Okay?
Then go to the body.
You gotta be smart. You gotta let go of those punches. He's just trying to tie you up.
Okay. Good job.
Okay?
All right, let's go.
As long as you stay low, you're in good shape. Stay stay low, and come up punching.
Stick behind your technique, baby.
Joel Diaz, Tim Bradley's trainer, is the older brother of Julio Diaz and Antonio Diaz, both of whom were more successful fighters in the ring than Joel. Joel's career was shortened by a detached retina, but he has become a very successful trainer with Bradley.
Yes, and he has a fantastic fighter he's working with, too.
CompuBox numbers through 4 rounds show Alexander landing more punches.
Well, you know, Alexander is maybe landing the punches, but his punches are more like a flicker. His gloves don't seem to be as close, and doesn't have as much of power as Bradley. Bradley has a lot more body weight and power on his shots.
No, Alexander's punches are more like the punches with which he dominated amateur fights.
Yes, but this is a professional fight now. 12 rounds, it makes a difference. But I tell you what, I'm looking in the eyes of both guys. I see 2 extremely determined young fighters.
I agree.
I mean, the determination is phenomenal.
And I think Alexander mentally looks way more into the fight now than was the case in the first couple of rounds. Perhaps the accidental butt and the cut over the eye have brought a new urgency to Alexander.
I'm watching also Alexander is really focusing on shooting a straight left now, and he seemed to be probably effective with it now.
And trying to turn that left over for power. Almost caught Bradley on the back of the head there with the right hand. Tim will duck from time to time.
Get the hand for a minute. Get the hand for a minute.
Okay, my break.
There's a fighter like Alexander, then you'll realize that he's been a little behind and he's got to step it up.
Yeah, it looks like it's just opposite of what I thought it would be. I thought Bradley would be stepping it up at this stage, but it looks like it's the other way around. But that's what makes good fights, when you have good fighters who, once they feel that they may lose, they come back.
This is the first round in which the sheer ring generalship situation seems to be favoring Alexander. This is the first round in which Alexander looks more comfortable in determining where he wants to be and what he wants to do in the ring.
Well, this is why this fight was anticipated to be a good fight and have these type of ebb and flows, because of the mental of the ability of the style of the fighters and the way they think.
But will we get combustion? Or is it just going to be one guy going at a time?
Okay. Step back. All the way back.
Good jab right on the eye by Bradley. Open up that cut a little bit more.
Let it go. Step back.
At some point between rounds here, we're going to show you an extraordinary sight. There are very few boxing promoters anywhere in the world who will hide from the spotlight. But Gary Shaw is a nervous Nelly. He can't watch Alexander up close at the ring. Excuse me, Bradley. He can't. Alexander's promoted by Don King, who of course is the opposite. Gary Shaw has to watch in the dressing room, and now Timothy Bradley's pregnant wife Monica has joined him there. So you're looking at the wife and the promoter of Timothy Bradley watching the fight on a monitor in a dressing room because their nerves won't allow them to come to ringside.
Usually cameras and microphones to promoters are like air to breathe for the rest of us.
Now here's how confusing CompuBox numbers can be. I told you I thought round 5 was the round in which Alexander looked most in command in the ring. Bradley landed more punches.
Round 6.
18 out of 42 by CompuBox count, 15 of 61 for Alexander. But of course, with many judges, it's more about the punches you throw than about the punches you land.
Step back.
And it's the sort of fight, Jim, that can look different from different sides of the ring.
Definitely.
On which fighters are landing anything effective or not.
Okay, step back.
Good straight right hand up the pipe again by Bradley. Alexander seemed to have tightened that defense up in the last round.
Off his head. Stop. Off his head.
When some ringside experts were disappointed with Alexander's performance last August against Kotelnik, one reason was that by CompuBox count, he landed only 18% of his punches. That's a low number. Tonight, he's landing 18% of his jabs. Normally, in successful performances, his numbers would be slightly higher than that. But he's fighting a better fighter than has been the case with most previous opponents, that's for sure.
Well, they're both fighting the best fighter we think that they've ever faced. So we'll see what truth comes out of that.
This fight is turning out to be exactly what was anticipated. The fight is going back and forth. Every time one guy gets hit, he comes right back. No one has been able to establish a real comfortable lead in this fight so far. And I think it's going to stay like this most of the way all the way down the line because of the skill, the speed, and the mindset of the two fighters.
Step back.
Hard right hand by Bradley, best shot of the fight. Clean shot, visible to everybody in the audience, right on the chin.
But it didn't seem to hurt Alexander.
Nope.
I mean, it's a great shot, power shot, but he never staggered his legs, you know, anything.
Well, we mentioned not a big puncher.
And I think both of them have pretty good chins, too.
I mean, the truth of the matter is, Marcos Maidana hits you with that shot, that's a whole different thing. You know, that's what makes Maidana what he is.
Well, he would hit you with 2 or 3 right after it.
But Maidana, of course, doesn't have the quickness or athletic ability of either of these two guys. Or of the man who beat him, Amir Khan.
Amir Khan.
Yeah.
Well, but these are 2 young fighters, and they're at supreme condition and supremely trying their best. Whether we get some dramatic liftoff or not, they are doing their best.
Bradley stuck one last resolute jab to punctuate the round. It's a close fight.
Change your direction, all right? If you're going that way and you change your direction and get your jab working up and down, man. All right? You everything.
I get what, folks. Hey, you're doing the same thing over and over. Let's switch it up on them a little bit, okay? You're doing good, but you know what? You are doing the right thing. But the thing is, rounds are going so fast, but you need to work a little more.
Okay. All right. Hey, go to that body again, baby. He's feeling it. All right?
Let you come in
Chest,
go.
chest body. Stay tight.
And when you lunge in there, Chad,
Here we see a headbutt come in first, and then you see one of the best right hand of the fight, in fact. Tremendous blow, landed good, but seemed like Alexander had his bearings.
Big round for Bradley numerically, though. CompuBox found Bradley in the 6th round, landing 21 of 52.
Round
10 of 49 for Alexander.
Round
the 21
7.
punches landed for Bradley.
Bucks.
The highest number in the fight for either fighter so far. Harold, how do you have it through 6?
Okay, Jim. 58, 56, 4 rounds to 2, Timothy Bradley. Jim, I thought except in rounds 2 and 5, Timothy Bradley's been outworking Devon Alexander. In rounds 2 and 5, Alexander clearly outworked Timothy Bradley, as I saw. He outboxed him. You know, Tim, one thing that surprises me, I've seen Timothy Bradley a million times, and he always scores with overhand rights and overhand lefts, and he hasn't thrown anything over the top in this fight that I've seen. I mean, the guy really does all his damage coming over the top, and he hasn't done it. It's really surprising. And yet, even still, he's winning the fight. Alexander grabbing a lot. Garza lets him get away with it. 4-2, Bradley.
I have the same score. Of course, there's a problem in Bradley reaching Alexander because he is clever and quick and sees most things coming.
Another flurry for Bradley. Didn't land big, but throws 4 or 5 punches in combination. Eye-catching for the judges. Body shot for Alexander. You heard Alexander's outspoken trainer, Kevin Cunningham, saying, among other things, get your jab going up and down. I think that's another way of saying he wants more body shots.
It's a tough fight to score here. There's not that many really clean blows that's landed. Most of the blows are slipped or partially blocked. But just the speed and the accuracy of both of the guys here and the continuous back and forth. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard. Score could be the same score could be for the other opponent.
Good left hand.
On a different scorecard, and it would not surprise me.
Yeah, and close to 1 minute removed from what I thought was Bradley's last round. Alexander seems to be back to outboxing him the first minute of this round. Lands another left hand.
His hands are so fast, it almost looks like he's coming back with the punch before it lands.
Step back, step back.
The winner of the fight is expected potentially to fight Amir Khan in the summer. If there's no rematch of this fight, which is possible, or if neither of the two fighters here is invited to fight Floyd Mayweather or Manny Pacquiao, for which they have contract allowances.
Well, I tell you what, Amir Khan or any junior welter in the world is going to have a problem with these two fighters because of the speed, the speed, and the determination that they both have.
Yep.
Okay, my break.
Although personally, Emmanuel, I suspect Khan may have a small hand speed advantage over either. It may not be enough to give him the edge necessary to win.
Check. When you keep your hands up like that and you go, hey, you going after him, you gotta work a little more. Okay.
Stay a little busy.
That defense is good, champ, but you gotta let go of your hands a little more.
Right.
Okay?
Go there.
And then don't lean on them. Get your distance so you can work the body. Left hook here and here. You gotta use that double left hook. Okay. You're not using it. Let's go.
Hey, don't look.
They've landed an equal number of punches. Small statistical anomaly.
You need another rest?
Jimmy Strickland working that cut over the right eye of Devon Alexander. Remember, the cut came from an accidental headbutt in the fourth round. Many Alexander family members here, as you saw in the pre-fight feature. He's one of 13 Alexander children from the Hyde Park section of St. Louis. Sisters Angela, Rita, Robin, Nishan, brother Jerome, all there at ringside.
They've been energetic, but so far they haven't fought as big as they've dreamed.
Well, they certainly outnumber the Bradley rooters at ringside because, as you know, Bradley's promoter and his pregnant wife are both in the dressing room, watching from a distance.
I was talking about the fighters.
Imagine that.
Okay, my break. Step back, step back.
Strickland's been pretty successful in controlling the cut.
Jim Strickland, one of the best cut guys in boxing. Phenomenal man.
Great person.
Yeah. I mean, anything in the Chicago area and all that he's handling, but also he's worked with a lot of other top fighters.
Another hard right hand for Bradley. And a very confident look on the face of Tim Bradley here in round 8. Whether justifiable or not, he may feel that he's in command of the fight.
Well, when you're moving forward all the time, you may think that. Alexander appears to want to step it up a little, but he doesn't appear to want to really put something out, really to take any risk.
See, why you see the same thing? As soon as Bradley lands something, Alexander comes right back again. No one can really take control over this fight still.
Okay, watch it. Both of you guys. Accidental headbutt. Okay.
Second accidental headbutt of the bout.
Come on.
And now another accidental headbutt. That's the third of the fight. And that one drew some more blood from Alexander's eye. Good right hook by Alexander.
Now Alexander is getting into it. Maybe we have liftoff.
putting a little bit more Dijon mustard on those punches. Hard right hand by Bradley. As once again, he fights back.
Tough fight to score.
Yep. Seesaw rounds. 8 rounds in the book between Devon Alexander the Great and Timothy Desert Storm Bradley. Fighting for world supremacy at 140 pounds.
Like you cut up here?
Huh? There's no cut, champ. There is no cut. Don't worry about the cut. Okay?
Tim.
Got a little swelling here. Okay?
Tim, stay busy.
He got the cut, my man. He good. Best cut man in the business. We fine. Can I get my sponge so I can take care of my fighter? I bet. Are y'all gonna give me some more time to work? Cause you stopping me from working.
Okay, thank you.
You boxing good, baby.
Here we see another one of the headbutts, and if you look very close, it's not, I think, intentional by neither one of the fighters. It's just the styles of the two fighters. The way they fight causes a lot of these butts.
Bucks.
When you see a fighter like Bradley who has a significant history of headbutts, Evander Holyfield's another, it's easy for opponents to say, oh, he's trying to butt me or he butts me intentionally. The fact of the matter is, it's just not his greatest concern whether he hits you with his head. His greatest concern is he's going to try to hit you with his fists. And he isn't exactly trying to keep his head out of it if it happens to go that way.
Well, you say Matt Bradley's a small guy, and most of the fights that he fights, his opponents are usually taller than he is.
As was the case for Holyfield, of course, in the heavyweight division.
Yep. So you have to bend down and just squat before you punch.
Although the shorter Mike Tyson thought Holyfield was trying to butt him. Good combination by Bradley. His punches seem to have lost a tiny bit of steam.
Off his head, off his head. Don't do
Alexander's
that.
appeared to be getting more intense in the last round.
You don't like the body shot, champ. You don't like the body. There you go. There you go, right there.
Unhook his head.
There's a small mouse now outside the left eye of Bradley. And he landed the first uppercut I've seen in the fight. Devon Alexander's uppercuts are weapons.
Step back, step back, step back.
Particularly the right uppercut. He hasn't landed that punch. Which is interesting because Bradley keeps coming at him. You would think that Alexander would be able to find an uppercut in there.
Very difficult for anyone to find a punch and land it consistent in the fight here.
Hard right hand for Bradley.
Step back, step back,
Swings
step
the
back.
right hand 2 more times. Winging roundhouse outside shot. That's fine. He lands it.
Watch your shoulders.
Well, right now, Bradley is walking Alexander down, crowding him, getting close, and the most effective punch he's got is a short club and right hand that he lands very effective when he gets close. Alexander's boxing, but seems like his punches really are not that effective as far as power. And as for Bradley's lost all respect for him, and he's just cutting the ring down more and more and more. And I think as the fight goes on, it's going to be really, really close going down the stretch.
And as we told you before the fight, the consensus expectation was for 12 intense rounds. Neither fighter has ever scored a knockout past the 9th round.
Well, neither one can break a grape, as they say. They're not looking to.
Off his head, no punching. Turn around. Bell.
Every time I think Alexander's going to make it an even fight, Bradley comes on.
It out. Yeah, let your water out. Now take a deep breath. Let it out. Take a deep breath. Let it out. Now, you see when you let that left uppercut go, you hit him right on the money. You gotta let that left hand go and you gotta turn it under. And put the hook with it.
You're opening up, champ. Here,
Don't
coach.
open up. Straight from the chin. Throw that right hand straight from the chin. You did it once. You got it. Okay.
Go. I need some more.
Copy box numbers in the 9th round. Alexander 12 of 44. Bradley 13 of 55. How much closer can it get?
Round 10. Round 10.
Alexander has 128 to 125 punches landed advantage through 9, meaning no advantage at all. They've landed just about the same number of punches. Harold, how do you have it through 9?
Okay, Jim. 87, 84, 6 rounds to 3, Timothy Bradley. Jim, I thought in rounds 2, 5, and 7, Devon Alexander boxed nicely, won those rounds, but otherwise I like Timothy Bradley, and I'll tell you, I think he does the most damage when he turns that right hand over. If you watch, he will turn it over. He doesn't really come all the way over the top like a Tim Witherspoon, but he turns it over just enough to get that, that extra zest into it, and he really does damage with it, to be honest with you. Devon Alexander making a terrible mistake by going to the left all night long, just the way Timothy Bradley wants him to, so Bradley can land the right hand. 6-3, Bradley.
I have it 5-4.
Step back. Time.
And their heads come together yet again. Now, this is
now
so commonly the case with a southpaw against a conventional fighter, but this is different.
And now there's blood from above Bradley's eye.
Left eye. And now Garza's going to escort Alexander to the corner, where a ring doctor will take a look at his right eye.
Just relax.
This was the worst case scenario of all the scenarios we imagined.
Yep.
Go take a look at the doctor.
She hurt, man.
Open up your eyes. Can you look out of your eyes? Both eyes. Open up both eyes. Look at me. Open up both eyes. If you don't open up both eyes, the evening's over.
No.
Fuck, it burns. Okay, look at me. Look at me. Open up your eyes. Okay. You gotta open up your eyes.
Doc.
Okay. Come on. If you can't open up your eyes, the evening's over. Okay. You can, okay. That's right.
Accidental headbutt. We're going to the technical rule. We're going to the scorecard. Okay? All right.
Worst case scenario for a fight of this stature. It's going to become a technical decision.
Accidental headbutt. We're going to the scorecard. Go to the corner.
I'm not sure what got into Alexander's eye because it looked like he could open them both fully.
We need to score
Which isn't to suggest that he was trying to get out of the fight. He was obviously feeling something.
Do you have any idea what's going on there,
I have
Emmanuel?
no idea because he was acting like he was stinging or something, which is, I'm totally
Accidental
confused.
headbutt. We're going to the scorecards.
And this is one fight, regardless of what corner you're in, you're going to be a nervous wreck going to the scorecards.
Whatever the scorecards say, it's not likely that the rematch clause will be exercised.
Harold, do you have something to add to this?
Yeah, Jim, absolutely. You know me, always got something to add. It's gone beyond 4 rounds. If the fight goes beyond 4 rounds, under the rules of the ABC, you go to the scorecards on an accidental headbutt. But you have to score on a partial round. In other words, round 10, even though it only went a couple of seconds, has to be scored. So you're going to get a score for 10 rounds, not 9. I've got it 7 rounds to 3, 97-93. Timothy Bradley.
Meaning you're scoring the 10th for Bradley.
Scoring the 10th round for Bradley, exactly. So, you got to throw that in there. Unfortunately, it's only a couple of seconds, the 10th round, but you got to score the 10th round as well. They go to the scorecards to determine the winner.
But what's confusing to me is the butt was on the other eye of Alexander, his left eye, not the one that was cut. And that's what me. I'm so confused.
But that's the referee's call. The referee determined that the cut that caused the fight to be stopped was caused by an accidental headbutt.
Look at that. The butt was on the left side of Alexander's head.
That's what I'm saying.
No contact was made with his right eye.
That's what I'm confused about.
Yeah, but maybe Frank Garza ruled early on in the fight that a cut was caused on his right eye by an accidental headbutt.
Well, he did. Yes.
Then we go to the scorecards.
Well, it could have been
if the initial cut is caused by a headbutt, and that cut is made worse by legal blows, you go to the scorecards.
The point we're making, Harold, is
not the cut.
What was it that debilitated Alexander so much that he couldn't keep fighting when the headbutt, which stopped the fight there, happened on the other side of his head? He seemed to be complaining about the right eye. Am I correct?
That's what I'm confused.
How is that an incident?
All right, whatever has happened in the technical decision area, Michael Buffer's ready to tell us. So let's go to ring announcer Michael Buffer for the result.
Ladies and gentlemen, The bout has been called to a halt. Referee Frank Garza, acting on the advice of a physician at ringside, calls a halt to the bout because Alexander is unable to continue due to a wound suffered by accidental headbutt. Under the rules, we go to the scorecards, including the 10th round, which was not completed. The scores are as follows for this unification world title match. Dwayne Ford, 97-93. Tom Miller, 96-95. Omar Mintoon, 98-93. All to the winner by unanimous technical decision. And now the unified champion, Timothy Desert Storm Bradley.
Well, as they love to say, someone's O had to go, and now it's Alexander's O, which is gone. Bradley remains unbeaten. And Larry Merchant, in pointing out that he didn't think the rematch clause would be exercised, is suggesting that this will be seen as a disappointing fight, and certainly the end of it is very disappointing.
Very, very disappointing. It was one of the few fights that I never even could speak too much during the course of the fight because the fight was going back and forth, back and forth. And as soon as you start saying something complimentary about one fighter, it would reverse the other way.
So you have a guy who's now become the champion of the division and the clear champion of the division, but now 5 different opponents have been cut by headbutts, including this one. Yep, and we're looking at the slow-mo of the headbutt, and once again it shows you very clearly that the contact took place on the left side of Alexander's head, away from the previous cut, about which he seemed to be complaining when he spoke to the doctor seconds later and made clear that he wasn't terribly interested in continuing the combat, or at least so it seemed to us. And that's all going to be a mystery which we hope will be cleared up in post-fight interview fashion, and let's go to Larry Merchant for that.
Thank you, Jim. Congratulations, Tim. Did you think the fight would be ended by the multiple headbutts that were happening toward the end?
First of all, Larry, I want to give all glory and praises and thanks to the Lord, Savior, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, for just allowing me to, enter this ring and exit the ring safely. Devon Alexander was a great fighter. He came to fight today. I didn't think the fight was going to be stopped this way. Both of us was coming in, at the same time, the softball stance and the right-handers, we lined up, right, when we shoot our punches and everything. It was going back and forth, man. It was going back and forth in there.
Were you conscious of this coming into the fight because it had happened in previous fights a number of times?
Well, I was a little conscious of it. I knew, sooner or later it would happen. But Devon Alexander is a great fighter. I tip my hat off to him. He's a tough warrior, and he's gonna be a world champion again sometime.
Let's take a look in a replay of what happened at the end, and you describe it. And tell us whether you thought it was.
And he coming in, and I'm coming in with a shot as well, same time. That's exactly what happened. He's coming in, I'm coming in. He's coming in with a big shot, and I'm coming in with a big shot.
Did you have something on you that might have gotten into his eye because he seemed to have some stinging sensation in the eye that he didn't go on? Or do you think that he just didn't want to go on with the fight?
I have no idea. You got to ask him that. I'm not sure what it was and why he wanted to stop the fight. I'm not sure.
Did this fight go about the way you expected, that you had to be the aggressor and take him out of the fight if you could, or take him out of his fight?
Absolutely. If you give Devon Alexander time to think in there, he'll box you to pieces. He'll box you apart. I pretty much just stepped to him the whole time. I was real confident, knocking down his shots, coming in, taking his best punches, and just, going to the body hard occasionally and forcing the action.
Quick look at the future. Are you willing to fight a Khan or a Maidana?
Either or. Khan right now will probably be the number one on my list right now. But you know what? I want to get the fight fans. I want the fight fans to pick who I'll fight next, and I'll fight them.
And you're willing to build on what you did tonight toward a major fight down the road with Pacquiao?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's where the key is right there. That's the gate key right there to Manny Pacquiao.
Thanks a lot.
Hey, thank you very much.
Congratulations again, Tim.
Appreciate it.
All right, Kevin. All right. Devon, tough end to a tough fight. Did something get into your eye at the end?
Yeah, I couldn't see for real. You know, it was burning. You know, I never got headbutted like that. He got a big head, so I couldn't see it all.
You said it
I ain't
was.
never got no cut yet like that.
You said it was burning?
Yeah. I mean, he came in full force, you know, so I couldn't see. So the doctor said it was in a bad position, so, hey, he stopped the fight.
Now you
but
knew.
I'm upset. But it's okay. It's okay.
Well, you knew his history. You knew that you're a southpaw. You're a boxer. He's going to be more aggressive as a conventional fighter, and that there was this danger.
Yeah.
Did you work for this? Did you look out for this?
Yeah, but you know, you can't work on the headbutt. We ain't work on the headbutt in the camp. You know, we worked to box his head off. You know, with skills. That's what we did. But he kept headbutting me, so you know the referee stopped the fight.
He just said that the key for him was keeping you so busy that you couldn't use all of your skills. What is your take on what happened until the end?
He didn't stop me from using my skills. You know, I was winning the fight up until now, I think, you know, and, you know, he couldn't handle my power for real. I thought I was hurting him too.
But he was at the end. The judges had him clearly winning the fight.
Well, yeah, that's because he kept rushing in with his head. I kept getting headbutted. You know, I can count 6 headbutts that he butted me with. So, you know, no excuses, you know. All
right, are you willing to fight Khan or Maidana if they should be offered to you next?
It don't matter who I fight. You know, it's a rematch clause. I got to fight Timothy Bradley next, so, you know, we'll get that on.
Thank you very much, Devon. Jim?
All right, Larry Merchant, let's take a look at final CompuBox numbers in the fight. Very, very close, reminiscent of Shane Mosley and Miguel Cotto in Madison Square Garden a few years ago when the numbers were almost identical at the end of the fight. If there's a difference here, it is that Bradley threw fewer and therefore landed at a slightly higher percentage. Power punches. Alexander landed more power punches and threw more power punches. But it appeared that if either fighter's power punches had a significant effect, it was Bradley. His right hands seemed to stop Alexander in his